Good morning guys and welcome back to Demo Drives, bringing real reviews to real people and answering some of those questions other channels might not talk about. I've come down to the Millbrook Proving Ground with Suzuki to drive the latest Suzuki Vitara. Now you may be looking at that thinking that doesn't look much different from the outgoing model. In fact, you'll be very hard pushed to know it was any different. But this is Suzuki's first hybrid system. Now you may be heading to the comments section now and going, you're wrong. They've already bought out two. They bought out the A-Cross and the Swace. Well, they were made by Toyota and badged up by Suzuki. And this under here, this is made completely by them. So it's a really important car to get right. The Vitara is one of the most popular, and the new engine and the new hybrid system, well, that's the way forward. It's a brand new engine, a 1.5. There's a hybrid system under there, and luckily you don't need to plug it in. It's a self-charging hybrid. And the outside, it looks very familiar. So I'll give you a quick look around because I don't have the car for very long. And then we'll go for a bit of a drive. So there's quite a bit of badging on the back, just in case you didn't know. It was the Vitara hybrid all grip. Being the SZ5, we've got a camera underneath here, parking sensors, which is great, but the rest of it looks exactly the same. I do like the colour of this car. I think it looks really nice. Got this two-tone with the gloss black, although it's covered in dirt, but never mind. But it's a smart looking car. It always has been. I've always liked the look of Suzukis. They're not outrageous. They're not too, you know, in your face. They're just a smart, reliable and quite fun car to own. Obviously, new Suzuki logo. I think that came in about 2 years ago. Lots of chrome everywhere. Maybe not to everyone's taste, but I actually quite like it. We've got sensor on the front, and that's for some of the safety features. But overall, yeah, it's a pretty smart looking car. Inside the cabin, again, it's very similar to the existing one. I don't think anything in here has changed. I might be wrong, so apologies for that. The big difference really is the gear selector. Now that is a manual automatic. Yeah, it's a bit confusing. So basically that means there is a clutch, but it's controlled by actuators. Yeah, we'll see what that's like once we go for a drive. So in the back, I'm expecting this to be, pretty good. Yeah, I've got a good amount of leg room. Headroom's not too bad. We have got the optional sunroof, which is good. It lets plenty of light into the cabin. My feet fit nicely under the seat. It's a nice place to be in here. In the back, it's a no frills type of car here. It's got everything you want. Got a central seat. I mean, yeah, there's a, yeah, not best if you have to sit in the middle. Yeah, I think that's because of the sunroof. It's taking up a bit of extra room, but I'm not sitting in the middle. It's fine over this side. Oh, so let's quickly hop out and look in the boot. And then we'll go for a drive in a minute. Again, it's the same amount of storage. You've got split seats. Under here, there is less storage / no storage because of those batteries. Just takes up a bit of extra room, but with tethering points, it's just a practical family car. So there we go. It's a quick look around it. Let's hop in. We'll go for a drive and we'll talk about, well, the driving experience. At last, I've got my hands on the new Vitara full hybrid. I've got the spec sheet. I've only got the car for a very short period of time, about 25 minutes. So let's quickly run through that and then we'll take it out for a bit of a test drive. So this has got a 1.5 litre engine. It's actually the same engine they found in the Jimny, but it's been tweaked. And now we've got the full hybrid. Now this isn't a plug-in hybrid. This is a self-charging, so you basically don't need to plug it in at the mains. And it'll give you a small amount of range where you can drive on just electric. It's not something you can change to drive in electric. It's just the car decides, so you get better fuel economy, the emissions are better. And in theory, it should be bit more powerful, a bit more torquey, and just nicer to drive. You've got a brand new gearbox in here, so this is going to be interesting. It's an automatic manual. I think that's the right term for it. Basically, it's actuators pressing the clutch, and yeah, it's all a bit clever for me, but it's got one of those anyway. So the car we have here is about £40,000, SZ5. It's got all of the trimmings on it. It's not much different to the standard Vitara. This is replacing the one with the mild hybrid. So yeah, let's head off then. Let's go and find some road. Let's get rid of my paperwork and we'll get going. So in D, that's it, handbrake off, and here we go. So now this is actually the top of the range, all the bells and whistles, SZ3, all grip, so it's all-wheel drive. We get different driving modes. There's quite a few things going on with this car, and it's really important for Suzuki. This is a good car. This is actually the first hybrid system that Suzuki have put in their cars. Well, full hybrid system anyway. You may be heading for the comments now and going, hang on, no, you're wrong. But yes, they've brought out the A-Cross, which was from Toyota, based on the RAV4, and also the Swace, which was based on the estate version of the Corolla. There was a strategic deal struck up between the two companies just to get a toe in the water and see how they got on with the electrification. And in exchange, I think they gave like a couple of the smaller cars to Toyota, and they're going to be sold sort of in the Middle East as opposed to Europe. So there we go. I was right and wrong all at the same time. Now behind the wheel, it's very familiar if you've driven the current Vitara. It's what's under the bonnet that is different. We've got up front a digital display here, colour one. This has got tons of things on there. A lot of things you'll probably never go anywhere near. You know, like average fuel consumption, yeah, fine, but there's really exciting things such as G meters and other things which probably no one's ever gonna actually go anywhere near. But it's nicely laid out, it's simple. The steering wheel's actually a good size. We've got paddles to the left and right, so we can either leave the car to do its thing or we can pull a paddle and feel a bit more engaged with the car. But everything else, like I said, it feels very, very familiar. Now we've got some bumpy bits over here, so let's tow over some bumpy bits on the Millbrook testing ground and see how we get on. I mean, it's a good job. You know, luckily it hasn't got low profile tyres and all the other things that go with sportier type cars. Now the cabin is well put together. The Vitara always has been incredibly popular. Yes, some of the materials are slightly harder wearing, but I don't think that matters too much. It seems like with Suzuki's, they just go on and on forever. Which, when you're spending 30 grand on a car, yeah, these start at 25, you don't really want it falling apart in a year's time. So we can push on maybe slightly more here. Now the big difference with this car is the engine. Gone is that 1.4 booster jet with a mild hybrid, and in its place is a brand new 1.5 litre. It's a derivative of what you found in the Jimny, and that's fitted with a bigger battery and a more powerful electric motor. It does mean that the car can switch over to electric power more frequently than you can with a assisted hybrid. Improved economy, better for the environment, and in theory a better car to drive around. Electric motors are great because they do torque filling, they give you that good amount of grunt. So if you need to push the car, like, oh, let's get around this bend. Yeah, when you need a bit of extra oomph, certainly going up hills and that sort of thing. It can kick in and just give you that extra bit of grunt. The gearbox in here seems okay. I've been running it on the paddles behind here, so changes up fine. It's a little bit laggy, I found, but that's the nature of this sort of gearbox. Now we have got different driving modes on here. We have got a rotatory dial just down by the handbrake, and you go through different modes. So I can rotate it round, and you've got sport, that gives you, well, as it said, the most sporty settings. You've got other things like snow mode, dirt, off-road. I'm not sure how often you'd actually take this off-road. Let's go into sports mode again. It's not really a sporty car, mind you, but it's well put together, it's comfortable, it's quiet really. So I'm going to go over to, move the gear selector up from manual, and I'm going to move it into D, so that's drive. So I'm going to let the car take care of itself when changing gear. Kick down, maybe a little bit laggy, it's not too bad. Let's try the brakes. Brakes are surprisingly good, but the Vitara has always been quite light. It's like 1,300 kilos or something like that. It may have gone up slightly because of the battery in the car. If you want to push on, it's enjoyable. It's a really good family car. This has been a very short but sweet video. We only get given the car for like 20 minutes. And I'm hoping I can get hold of this for a bit longer to do a more comprehensive review. But this is my first impressions of the new Suzuki Vitara full hybrid. Overall, I think it's a good car. Reasonable money, 25,000 for the base, raising to around 30 if you want all of the goodies on it. It's comfortable, it's relaxed. The gearbox is it's okay. That's the only slight downside of it, but when you're just driving around normally, it's really good. Lots of tech, looks pretty smart. So overall, it's a big thumbs up on the new Vitara. Anyway guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give me a thumbs up. Comments are always welcome, and remember to click on the subscribe button and notification bell so you're alerted when more videos come out. Thanks for watching.